BC, how's it going? I think it's been obviously 3, maybe 4 weeks since my last video. Picked up quite a bit of stuff over last month, so I thought I'd show you what I got. Hopefully you can hear what I'm listening to. This is who is William Onyeabor. William Onyeabor was a Nigerian musician, mainly recorded electronic music. Late 70s, early 80s. I think he gave it all up in the mid 80s. He's still alive. He just he doesn't record. I don't think he talks about his music either. You know, it's sort of something he's put behind him. But this compilation is fantastic. It came out a couple of years ago. It's on the Luca Bop label. Not a bad track on it. It's 3 LPs. And I think it's pretty good value for money. I think this cost me 20 quid when I bought it. I'd say 3 records. Not a bad track on it. Funky throughout. If you see, buy it. Right, okay. Another African record. This is from Record Store Day. I didn't go out on Record Store Day. I know that I've seen a lot of posts in the VC of people that went out and picked stuff up. I'm not necessarily one for queuing to buy records, so I let everybody get on with it and then just pick through the dregs that are left. Fortunately, the stuff that I was after was still there, so perhaps that says something about my taste in music. There you go. This is Joe Mensa. This is an Afrobeat album. Originally came out in the mid 70s. Yeah, a really nice record. 3 tracks, all of them great. It's a nice pressing. I think it's limited to 1,000 copies. The only thing I'd say though, as with all Record Store Day releases, a bit pricey. This single record cost more than the William Onyeabor 3 record set. I think I paid 20 quid for the William Onyeabor record. I think this was plus 21, 22 quid. So not necessarily value for money, but a really nice record. Right. Okay, a couple of reissues. This is the Baby Huey story. Baby Huey was a soul singer from the late 60s, early 70s. He died very young. I think he's, as a result of his weight, I think he was 350, 400 pounds, something like that, you know. And I think he died in his mid-20s. But at the time of his death, he had been recording an album with Curtis Mayfield for Curtis's Curtain label. And I think this is pretty much a result of that. It's only 7 tracks. This came out, I think, 1971 originally. I'm never going to be able to get hold of an original copy, so this is a reissue. I think it was reissued in the late 90s. I've got a lot of the tracks on compilations from that sort of time, so I'm assuming it was re-released then. This reissue is from last year. Nice pressing. Nice to have all the tracks together in one album. He does a cover of Sam Cooke's "The Change Is Gonna Come." Arguably better than the original, I don't know, but it's a great version. If you get a chance, check it out on YouTube or pick up the album. But yeah, good stuff. Right. Another reissue. This also came out end of last year. Originally came out in 1970. The Start Reality discovers Hokie Carmichael's music shop. So, the Start Reality, you may well know, were a jazz rock band. And this is an interpretation of music that went to a TV programme called Hokie Carmichael's Music Shop, which I think was originally from the late 50s. Again, you can see here on the hype sticker, 3 LPs, and it's a great album. I originally came across this, well, found out about this only 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know whether you remember, but there was a documentary that came out about a tribe called Quest. The interview footage with Q-Tip, throughout that documentary, had him sitting in a recording studio at a mixing desk, and propped up on that mixing desk was an original copy of this album. I'd never heard of it before. Obviously, seeing the sleeve got me interested, so I looked it up, found out all about it, and since then I've been after a copy. So I was chuffed to get this this reissue. But yeah, really good. Once again, you know, you can't go wrong with it. If you see it, pick it up. It's been sampled to death, and that's the reason why it's so popular. Yeah, cool. Right. Okay, another Record Store Day release. This is Arena. self-titled record. Now this is a jazz record, I believe from Australia. Originally came out early to mid 70s, 73, 74, something like that. I took a bit of a flyer on this. I saw this, I picked it up at Piccadilly Records in Manchester. It was in shrink originally, it had a nice big hype sticker on here, which basically described it as being rare groove. It's not a rare groove record. It's funky, it's a funky jazz record in places. Some of the songs, some of the tracks, sorry, aren't necessarily to my taste. I'm not a big fan of free jazz, and a couple of these are a little bit free for my liking. But yeah, a nice record. I think this is the first reissue of it since its original release. A lot of you out there in the VC will really dig this. It's a really nice jazz album. As I say, a couple of tracks there, not necessarily my bag, but yeah, it is a nice record. Right. Okay, some used records. Right, this is something that I originally saw in the VC probably a few years ago. This is the self-titled album by Lou Bond. This came out in 1974 on the We Produce label, which I think is an offshoot of Stax. As you can probably tell by the acoustic guitar over his shoulder there, it's got a real singer-songwriter feel to it rather than being a funk record. There are a couple of funkier tunes on there. I posted a picture of this on the Facebook page actually, and quite a few people commented saying it was a grail of theirs, that sort of thing. And I think everybody name checked a song called To The Establishment, which is the best track on the album. Only 6 tracks, got a Bill Withers cover on here as well. Yeah, nice listen. So I've never seen it before. I've seen it online, but I've never seen it in a shop. I picked it up in a shop up in New York called Vinyl Eddies, which I think is a relatively new record shop. Paid a little bit for it, but yeah, happy to get hold of it. Okay, this is the third album and final album by the Specials in the studio. By this time, Terry Hall, Linvoy Golding and Neville Staples had left the band to form the Fun Boy 3, so this is pretty much an effort from Jerry Dammers. I've had the first 2 Specials albums for years, and both of them are great albums. You'll know a lot of the tunes. Obviously, they had a couple of #1 singles: Too Much Too Young, Ghost Town. Actually, Gangsters, their first single, is one of my favourite songs. If I had to pick a top 10, that would be now without doubt. This was pretty much after the two-tone movement had gone. This is right at the end of it. Got a big single on it. The first single off this record was Nelson Mandela, which is a great song. Obviously a protest record, quite a strange protest song actually. You think about it. Most protest songs are slow, quite serious, drawn out things. Think stuff like Blowing in the Wind and that sort of thing. This is Nelson Mandela is a real dancer. Just a great song. And the whole album's a bit like that. I definitely recommend it. It's got stuff on here like Racist Friend, War Crimes, which you may be familiar with. Got one of my wife's favourite songs on here, What I Like Most About You Is Your Girlfriend, which is that was a single I think off the album. I don't think it charted actually. It certainly didn't make the top 40. But yeah, one of their best tunes. Yeah, if you see this, pick it up. Something I haven't owned before. So yeah, really pleased to find it. Okay. Fatback Band, Raising Hell. Another album from the mid-70s. You know what you get with a Fatback Band. Funky, good time, summer music. I bought this from a place in Newcastle, just as like a market store type thing. I think I paid 7 or 8 quid for it. I'm pretty sure that people will have found this a lot cheaper than that, but this is a mint copy. Didn't look like it had been played. Original pressing on the Polydor label, UK Polydor. Yeah, great record. As I say, I'm sure you'll find it cheaper, but I was really pleased to get a really nice pressing of it. Okay. Right, this is an album by Marcia Hines called Marcia Shines. This is from 1974 as well. Lots of mid-70s records here. Yeah, this is very much an album of 2 halves. The first side of the album did nothing for me. I a bit more singer-songwriter ballads, that sort of stuff. The first track is a cover of James Taylor's Fire and Rain. I can't stand the originals, and I certainly don't like the cover version. It does nothing for me. Second side though is funky. The first track is a cover of Jumping Jack Flash, which is alright, but it goes from there to a few original tunes. There's a track on it called Easy Evil, another called You Gotta Let Go. Actually, You Gotta Let Go, original 45 of that goes for about 250 quid, so it's clearly an in-demand tune. But yeah, if you get a chance, check it out on YouTube. I think this album was, looking online, it looks like it was a hit in Australia, like a top 5 album in Australia, but did nothing anywhere else. So perhaps some of the Australian guys in the VC will know a little bit about it. But yeah, quite a nice soul album. I'll only be playing the second side of it though. Right, okay. Okay, Can, limited edition. This is an original UK press on United Artists. Both the record and sleeve, mint condition. The shop that I bought it from, I was chatting to the guy there. He basically said that he bought a prog rock collection, most of which he'd sold by the time I got there, all of which was mint. I think the guy had bought the stuff and just left it on the shelf, which is a real shame, you know. But yeah, I'm pleased to get a nice copy of this. This is basically an odds and sods compilation of stuff which unreleased bits and bobs prior to this. So it's got stuff with both of their singers, both of their vocalists on it. It wasn't just one of their vocalists. But yeah, so interesting record. This came out was released a couple of years later as Unlimited Edition. That was a double album, but this is the first release. Great cover, I'm sure you'll agree. But I say yeah, please pick that up. Okay, a couple more. This is the 11th House featuring Larry Coryell. Again, I think 1974-75, white label promo on Arista. Now, I like jazz and I like rock, but I struggle a bit with jazz rock. Some of the tracks on here are lovely, got a real good feel to them, quite funky. Some of it though, a little bit unsubtle. Feel like they've just thrown the kitchen sink at it. You know, it's. I think it's all very well being technically proficient, you know, and being obviously he's an incredible guitarist, all great musicians. But I think sometimes less is more. I think that this record suffers from that in places. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will disagree with me, but yeah, that was my thought. Yeah, cool. But anyway, please pick it up. Nice copy. Finally, this comes to the post today. Klaus Johann Grobe. This is basically a krautrock album, modern krautrock album. It actually comes out tomorrow. I pre-ordered it through Piccadilly Records and it's turned up today on pink vinyl, bubblegum pink vinyl. They put out a 10-inch probably about 2 years ago, a limited run. I think there's only 300 copies, and it's fantastic. If you see it, pick it up. I think it was repressed actually last year, the 10. I've got the first pressing of it. A friend of mine actually was trying to put a gig on of theirs in a local church. Actually, they did tour. They didn't play that gig, but which is a real shame because I would like to have seen them. But yeah, this is it's a bit krautrocky. They are the band's from Zurich. Yeah, it's an interesting record. I say, so I'll be interested in what people think about this. I say it's a new record, new release. I gave it a spin once through earlier on. Very impressed. I think it will be one of my albums of the year on first listen, unless I get sick of it, of course. But yeah, check it out. Anyway, I've got a few other bits and bobs, but probably save it for another video. So, cheers.